Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. I have another card featuring Spellbinders Stitched Ornament Display. I have an earlier post on my blog at bonniecarolee.com using this set with a couple of cards using just the ornament. When used in conjunction with the display stand, you can create beautiful holiday decor. With some minor modifications, a shadow box card can be created. And yes, it lays flat, so it is male friendly. I'm going to begin by putting the ornament together. I'm going to be using Nouveau drops, and so I need to let it set overnight before I can put it into the stand. For this card, I'm not going to be using the stitched die detail. I've just used the outline die, and then the pretty little overlay detail pieces have been cut twice. The ornament was die cut from ivory cardstock, and then the overlay pieces from this beautiful fresh green. These are very easy to align with the ornament. And the second overlay is put in place. The two end pieces overlap the end pieces on the first one that was laid down. Next, the ornament is adhered to the string. I'm going to adhere small iridescent confetti to all the little round details on the overlays. I'm switching things up. I don't like the black ornament hanger, and so I'm going to put on a pretty green glitter one. All of the confetti is going to be finished off with Nouveau Crystal Drops Morning Dew. When the Morning Dew dries, it is clear, and this confetti will take on a beautiful jewel-like appearance. I wrap up this session of crafting with a couple of sprays that I've put together using the holly, branches, and berries included in this die set. And I'm adding some Nouveau Glitter Drops White Blizzard, which dries clear, to the berries. I left these to dry overnight, but probably about 3 or 4 hours would be sufficient. I could have gone ahead and put the stand together when I completed the ornament, but time wouldn't allow it, so I saved everything for the next day. The die that looks like an oversized tab has been cut from the green cardstock 4 times. Because I'm doing a shadow box, I only need to die cut 2 of these tabs with the half circle die. The end pieces on the straight portion of the die are lined up with the first score line on either side of the die cut. There are 2 score lines on either end of the tabs. These are going to be creased into a Z fold. First score line is folded back onto the wrong side of the die cut, and then the other one is creased and folded towards the front of the die cut. If I was creating the display stand, there are a couple of things that I would have done differently. First, I would have die cut all 4 tabs with the half circle die. The 2 score lines on either end of the tab would be folded in the same direction so that they could be stacked on one another. A 5 by 7 inch piece of ivory cardstock has been embossed with Spellbinders 3D tile mosaic. The 2 tabs that have not been die cut are going to be adhered to the top and the bottom of the back of this panel. As I do this, I make sure that the 2 end pieces are flush with one another. I also fold the 2 tab pieces down just to make sure that the width of the panel isn't too wide. Two frames that have been die cut will be adhered to the frames that are already adhered to the back of the panel. Adhesive is applied to the end piece. Then the end pieces from both frames are lined up, and I found that I had to hold it for just a minute or so until the glue set up. The shadow box frame is adhered to a card base out of ivory cardstock measuring 5 by 7 inches. Before I get busy with the adhesive, I double check just to make sure that the base is the same size as the panel. All the Nouveau drops on the ornament are completely dry, so I can go ahead and attach those 2 little sprays that I created to the center of it. Now to put the ornament into the shadow box. After the ornament has been positioned, the string is trimmed down. This string is adhered to the top of the frame, and I use my reverse tweezers to hold it in place until the glue is set. There are 3 dies that are used to create the stabilizers for either side of the frame. The decorative element is created by placing that die inside the outline die and die cutting it. After the decorative element is in place, it's going to be adhered to the corresponding strip, making sure that there's no adhesive on the 2 round tabs at the end. Adhesive is applied to either side where it will be slipped into position. This card is finished up with lots of Christmas foliage and poinsettias. The larger spray is arranged around the upper left-hand corner, and then diagonal to it a smaller one. I like to create several smaller arrangements and then combine them. I also like to apply the adhesive in the center so that I can slip in additional pieces. To help fill out the sprays, I added in several branches that were die cut from the green glitter cardstock. This adds just a little pop of shine, exactly what this holiday arrangement needs. The same iridescent confetti that was used on the ornament is used to accent around the spray and the centers of the poinsettia. They are topped up with Nouveau Crystal Drops Morning Dew. I was back and forth on the sentiment. I started off with the black die cut one, but ended up switching it out. Instead, I used a sentiment strip from Glitter Wishes and foiled it in Aura on ivory cardstock. And there you have it, a shadow box card made with stitched ornament display, all ready to be popped into the mail. This is an absolutely gorgeous die set which can be used in a few different ways. I love that this set can be used to make different styles of cards and holiday decor. Thank you for joining me, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. As always, I appreciate your visit.